Episode 11915. Airs Tuesday, August 4th at 2000 hours on ITV1. Someone takes revenge against Dylan. Lauren and Brody visit Betsy, who is struggling to talk. Lauren is horrified when Ryan reveals Dylan called round, and as the speech therapist arrives, Betsy continues to struggle with her words. Lauren insists to Brody that Dylan must be held accountable. Brody then confronts Dylan in the cafe, ordering him to stay away from Betsy. Dylan counters that Brody is just jealous because Betsy never showed interest in him, forcing Nina to intervene as the lads square up. Later, in the precinct, Nina finds Dylan unconscious. When Dylan wakes up, will he tell who attacked him? Ross is already under suspicion. Ross tells Fizz and Tyrone he wants to move nearby, but Fizz quickly closes down the conversation. Steve asks Ross where he dropped Cassie off, but Ross feigns ignorance until Steve reveals how he saw Cassie get into his car, forcing him to change his story, claiming he took her to Piccadilly Station. What is Ross hiding? Elsewhere on the street, Asha and Sienna discuss her mum's dementia and various care options. Having overheard their exchange, Ronnie confides in James that the holiday was challenging and in hindsight it was a mistake to take Debbie out of her comfort zone. Ronnie assures Debbie that when the time comes he'll hire a carer. Weatherfield is about to be rocked by another devastating crisis as Coronation Street delivers an emotional storyline that leaves residents fearing the worst. In scenes packed with tension, panic, and heartbreaking emotion, Dylan Wilson is discovered unconscious, sparking a desperate race against time and raising serious questions about what really happened. The shocking incident doesn't just threaten Dylan's future, it sends shockwaves through everyone who cares about him, exposing fractured friendships, guilty consciences, and dangerous secrets that have been simmering beneath the surface. A normal day turns into a nightmare. The day begins like any other, but it doesn't take long before concern starts to grow. Dylan has been struggling under enormous pressure in recent weeks. While he has tried to put on a brave face, those closest to him have noticed that something isn't right. His mood has changed. He's become withdrawn, quieter than usual, and increasingly isolated from the people trying to support him. Friends assume he simply needs space, while others worry he's hiding something much more serious. When Dylan suddenly disappears without telling anyone where he's going, alarm bells begin to ring. At first, everyone assumes he'll turn up eventually. But as the hours pass without any sign of him, concern quickly turns into panic. The terrifying discovery. The search comes to a horrifying end when Dylan is finally found lying unconscious. The discovery leaves everyone frozen with shock. Someone immediately calls for an ambulance while others desperately try to wake him. The terrifying uncertainty hangs over the scene as nobody knows whether he's breathing normally, how long he's been there, or what caused him to collapse. As paramedics rush to the scene, Dylan is treated before being transported to hospital. Residents can only watch helplessly as the ambulance pulls away, fearing the worst. Shawn faces every parent's worst fear. For Shawn, the moment is absolutely devastating. Hearing that Dylan has been found unconscious leaves him completely shattered. His worst fears suddenly become reality as he races to the hospital desperate for answers. Every second feels like an eternity. Shawn blames himself for not noticing how much Dylan had been struggling. He replays recent conversations over and over, wondering whether he missed obvious warning signs. Friends attempt to comfort him, but nothing eases the guilt consuming him. As doctors work to stabilize Dylan, Shawn waits anxiously outside, terrified that his son's future hangs in the balance. What really happened? As news spreads around Weatherfield, speculation begins almost immediately. Nobody knows exactly why Dylan collapsed. Was it an accident? Did someone attack him? Could overwhelming emotional pressure finally have become too much? Or is there another explanation that nobody has considered? With very few answers available, rumors spread rapidly across the street. Some believe Dylan had been keeping dangerous secrets. Others suspect recent conflicts may have played a role. The uncertainty creates even more tension as everyone searches for someone, or something, to blame. Betsy is left feeling guilty. Among those deeply affected is Betsy. After everything that has happened recently, she can't stop wondering whether events leading up to Dylan's collapse could somehow be connected. She begins questioning every conversation they shared. Could she have helped him? Should she have recognized how serious his emotional state had become? The guilt weighs heavily on her, even before the truth is fully revealed. Friends rally together. Despite ongoing disagreements and rivalries, Weatherfield residents unite in support of Dylan. People who rarely agree suddenly find themselves standing together outside the hospital. Flowers begin arriving. Messages of encouragement spread quickly. Even characters who have previously clashed with Dylan admit they never wanted things to reach this point. The crisis reminds everyone just how fragile life can be. Hospital drama intensifies. Inside the hospital, doctors continue working to determine what caused Dylan to lose consciousness. Several tests are carried out while worried relatives wait anxiously for updates. Every time a doctor walks into the waiting room, hearts stop. Unfortunately, answers don't come quickly. Instead, uncertainty continues to grow. Shawn desperately searches the faces of medical staff for reassurance, but all they can promise is that they're doing everything possible. A community searching for answers. Back on Coronation Street, speculation continues to dominate conversations. Everyone has a theory. Some believe Dylan had simply been overwhelmed by recent emotional pressure. Others wonder whether someone intentionally harmed him. Several residents begin retracing Dylan's final known movements, hoping to discover clues about where he went and what happened before he collapsed. The mystery quickly becomes one of Weatherfield's biggest talking points. Hidden secrets begin emerging. As investigators and loved ones piece together Dylan's final hours, previously unnoticed details begin coming to light. Small conversations suddenly seem significant. Strange behavior starts making sense. People remember comments they dismissed at the time but now view very differently. Each revelation paints a bigger picture, but also raises even more questions. The closer everyone gets to the truth, the more complicated the situation appears. Emotional fallout. Even if Dylan recovers physically, the emotional consequences will not disappear overnight. The incident forces several characters to confront difficult truths about mental health, communication, and the importance of asking for help before problems spiral out of control. Relationships are tested. Families become closer, or drift further apart. Long-standing tensions resurface. The emotional scars could last far longer than Dylan's physical injuries. Shawn makes a promise. Waiting beside Dylan's hospital bed changes Shawn forever. He realizes nothing matters more than family. Should Dylan recover, Shawn becomes determined to rebuild their relationship, listen more carefully, and ensure his son never feels alone again. It's an emotional turning point that could reshape both of their futures. Will Dylan pull through? As the episode ends, viewers are left desperately waiting for answers. Doctors remain cautious. Shawn refuses to leave Dylan's side. Friends continue hoping for positive news. But one question remains unanswered. Will Dylan regain consciousness? Or is Weatherfield about to face another heartbreaking tragedy? A powerful new chapter. This gripping storyline promises to deliver some of the year's most emotional episodes. By focusing on fear, family, friendship, and the consequences of hidden struggles, Coronation Street once again proves why it continues to captivate audiences. Whether Dylan's collapse was caused by an accident, an assault, or overwhelming emotional pressure, one thing is certain: his life has changed forever. As secrets continue to unravel and the truth slowly comes to light, Weatherfield will never be quite the same again. Fans should prepare for emotional hospital scenes, unexpected revelations, and dramatic twists that could permanently alter several lives. Dylan's fate remains uncertain, but his shocking collapse marks the beginning of a storyline that promises suspense, heartbreak, and hope in equal measure. The coming episodes will reveal not only what happened to Dylan but also whether those around him can come together before it's too late. Until then, viewers will be left anxiously waiting, hoping that the young resident can overcome this terrifying ordeal and find a path toward recovery. Coronation Street airs on weeknights at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Crown ST.